What's going on, you guys? We are back with episode 24, Sales Bro Pod. This time around, we've got another sales bro, Alex Zastre. Welcome on, Alex.
What's going on, boys? How are you, Dylan?
You know, it's been a good day. It's been a good day. I think you might know why.
Yeah,
Uh,
big day for you, eh?
Big day. Yeah, guys. So any of you guys listening, Alex is an online money connoisseur. He's an entrepreneur, business owner, sales guy for a good while. Alex, for the people that don't know you, who are you and what are you up to?
I am, I guess, a business owner, and we do financial marketing is kind of the niche, but I started as a normal agency owner 4 years ago and took my own calls for 2 years and did a bunch of sales before that. Like from the time I was like 13, I started doing door to door when I was 13. So I've been in the sales game for a while.
Yeah. Cool. Cool. What were you selling door to door at 13?
It was BC Cancer Society. I would go and get donations for them actually from 13 to, I kept doing it till I was like 16, 17, something like that. But even though it was just donations, I feel like it was honestly better because it gives you like a good entry point where it's like a super soft sell. Like I wasn't selling them, like I care about raising money for cancer, and I was out there being able to get people involved. But it was a really good entry point because it's not like I'm at the door trying to sell, I don't know, like window cleaning or solar or something like that, right? Like it was like, hey, I'm here as a
Yeah.
good Samaritan trying to raise money for BC Cancer Society. And so I did that for a number of years, and that was volunteer work. I wasn't making any money or anything. It's just like the way that I got my volunteer work for school, I had to like reach a minimum. But it
Yeah.
was really good experience, I think.
So you were just a good guy. That's what I'm hearing.
Kind of, yeah, kind of just a super altruistic kind of guy. No, but yeah, it was good. It was a good way to get volunteer hours, and even better, it gave me a skill that I didn't even know I was like gaining, which was being able to do a transaction with somebody door to door, even if it was just for donation. And now there's people, there's guys our age that do the. I don't know if you have it where you're at, but here in Canada, we got people that will take donations on the street, and they get paid a percentage of the donations they bring in. So I didn't even have that. I was just ripping it up
Yeah.
for the volunteer hours.
Yeah. And I was 13 through 16. Did you I know you did end up going to school, but like how did your sales career, let's call it that, how did it progress after the volunteer work? Did you go and sell other things?
Well, yeah, when I was 15 or 14, I started like an online ski brand, I would call it. Like we did merch, but before that we just made a lot of videos, and they're really, really big in the ski community. Like some of them had like 250,000 views, which is a big deal for a niche internet extreme sport video that is only posted on like New Schoolers, which is the forum. So we gained quite a following on this forum, and then I started running it kind of like a business as I got older. So kept running
Yeah.
it from like 14 to 16, 17. I started getting serious, started making merch, started making money with it. And then, yeah, that was like the first time. That was kind of where it bridged, I think, into like
Yeah.
business. And then sales, and in the summers, I would do like door to door for like getting your house painted.
Hmm. Did you like kind of always have that knack for entrepreneurship, or did you find that out later?
Nah, man, like since I was, uh, when I was in grade three, so I was 8, I did a snow shoveling. Like I'll shovel your driveway for $20. And me and my buddy ran up. I remember in 2 days I made $350 at like 8. And I was like, holy shit, like this is awesome. And then just as I was growing up, you kind of I'm not good at working a job. I like to be by my own schedule. I don't like to be told what to do by people. It's just like a constant theme throughout my life. And I just kind of knew that if I were to work a traditional job, it wasn't going to work. And by the time I went to university, I just decided, well, prior to university, when I started the ski thing, it was the first time I was like, okay, I can actually make money without having a job. But I still had jobs at the time. And then I quit my job, said
Yeah.
screw it, and just focused on building a business.
What was the motive for going to university if you kind of knew you were going to end up doing your own thing anyways?
Yeah, I think there's a few things. Like my parents definitely wanted me to go, but I wouldn't say that that was like a huge motivator, because really the actual like education part of it, and I don't like, I like to be able to get stuff and learn it, and I'm good on deadlines. So like if there's an exam, then I know I'll study the information. Whereas like when I go and try and learn stuff that I might not want to learn, accounting, general finance, sifting through the email for macro and microeconomic information on YouTube without a guideline, I don't think is like, I just wouldn't get it done as well. Whereas like, yeah, when you're in university, you're looking a lot of stuff up online, and like you do use the textbook, but a lot of it's like the chapter summaries and stuff. But it's just like a structured way for you to learn information that other people in business also have. And so when you have conversations with those people, it's like, okay, you can say something and I'm going to get it immediately. And people can learn that without going to university for sure, but it's just that structured environment I think was beneficial, and having that piece of paper at the end, it definitely helps with business.
Yeah.
Having that, until you have a track record in business when you're in your 20s, that's what people look for, as a track record basically.
Yeah.
So I think it helps.
Yeah. What kind of grades did you get in school? Were you like a nerd, or were you like you just got by, or what did it look like?
Yeah, I was definitely like a B's and C's kind of guy. Like you couldn't get a D, or you couldn't have your grade point average too low, or you wouldn't be able to stay in the business school. So there was a field that I had to play within, but no, I was not getting A's. And in high school, I got like 84% to 86% was kind of the zone I would stay in. And again, that was like basically prescribed by my parents. In order for me to get into university, they'd be like, we need between 84 and 86. And so I was like, okay. So that was the
Yeah.
zone that I played in at school, because I was always doing stuff outside of school. Like when I was in
Yeah.
high school, I was out doing the skiing stuff. When I, like, even I guess in middle school, I was doing the skiing stuff on the side. And then in university, when I started university, first year or so, I was still working on the ski stuff. And then I started the marketing agency, realized I really liked it, and focused my attention there for like second, third, and fourth. And then I did like half of a fifth year, basically, in order just to get it done, because I've been taking less courses than the full course load. Um, and yeah, to get that whole period of time, I was doing stuff on the side, and so I wanted to still get good grades, or good enough grades, but and pass everything and learn the concepts. But I knew that there was more stuff that I wanted to do, that if I made sure that I still had focused attention there, it set me up for success when I left, so that I wasn't sitting around wondering, what next.
Yeah. That's kind of my thing too. It's like I was usually like a 85 to 90 student, and I was always working outside of school, and it took me 4.5 years, so like half of the fifth year, um, to graduate. But yeah, that's interesting. Interesting.
Well, Gary V, I think it was Gary V. Somebody said that like the A students end up working for the B and C students, and I think that's true. Like my, I don't want to like call her out on here. My sister got straight A's through school, but it didn't correlate to like she'll be very happy doing what she's doing, and she's helping people through like physiotherapy, and she applies the shit out of herself to that field. But as a correlation to like dollar amount on the back end, grades are not a good indicator of that, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think a lot of people would be in agreement with you on that. So you you said you cranked up the agency as you were in university, and it was a marketing agency. Was it like targeting any particular industries, or what kind of marketing are we talking?
Yeah, when I started, it was just about Instagram growth. So like my partner at the time had figured out how to get like meme pages. He figured out randomly one summer how to get meme pages, and I had been business minded, so I hooked up with him and started calling different local businesses. I did the classic start of an agency, calling local businesses, trying to get deals, going and pitching them, so on and so forth. And then we got a couple of things through that, but like nothing really. And then Lewis, my now the CEO at Savvy, at the time, he came to me and he was like, "Hey, I've been seeing that you have this agency going." I mean, I didn't know it was an agency, but you know, he had been doing all this stuff, learning all the agency stuff, talking like doing the Emon courses and stuff before Emon was even big, like really early, like just getting into agencies and marketing. And so he came to me and was like, "Yo, we should do marketing for this." And we actually filmed an ad of Lewis, and we were like, "Okay, great." And then that ad ran for a year and a half and generated the first 6+ figures of Savvy Social.
Yeah,
So after that first year, it was kind of just, yeah, I don't know. It was clear that it was a good path to go on. It
yeah,
was
but
exciting.
that wasn't for the current iteration of Savvy Social. That was like an earlier one, right? So like,
Yeah, completely different. Like, um, mandate, I guess I would say. But it was before I knew to niche down on offers.
yeah. So you, I mean, you did have a stint, and I mean, some of the work that we're doing today even relies, not relies. I guess it falls in the category of like crypto Web3 stuff. Uh, how did you get started with all that? Like, how do you know all the stuff you know? Because I feel like I'm a little bit left behind every time we talk about it.
Um, yeah, crypto. I guess people just like I'm sure in the end of high school, you had buddies. I had a buddy that would talk to me all the time about. He's getting super fired up about it. I ended up in like spheres of that when crypto was still really infant stages, and then when the kind of bull market came was right after we had started doing capital markets work, so like public deals and things like that. And we were doing really like experimental stuff for that, like making at the time it was experimental. Now a lot of public companies do it, but making discords, running ads into Discord, putting out Reddit posts. That was super new at the time. And this is only like 2.5 years ago. But at the time, this was new to these financial, like to a lot of capital markets companies. But it fit really well with crypto. And so we had a friend locally who, I'd started when I started in agency work. He had an agency as well, and we kind of connected really quickly. He actually filmed that ad of Lewis in the very early days that gave us our initial success. But he had gone on to do a bunch of stuff and get into crypto specifically from that. Um, but yeah, so him and he hit me up. I saw what he was doing on his story and stuff, and I was like, "Yo, I've been putting together these kind of mass influencer campaigns and ads campaigns and marketing kind of public market stuff. I'd be interested in getting into crypto." And actually, funnily enough, prior to that even happening, as that kind of wave of crypto was starting to get really hot in like June, July of like last summer, I would say. Last summer? No, the summer before that, right? That was when it started getting really hot leading up to last January, where it kind of peaked. And I started just teaching myself crypto stuff. Like just I read the Ethereum white papers. I started following as many IG pages as I could to figure out about NFTs and crypto and all this kind of stuff, and just did that for like a month, 2 months straight while we were still getting kind of these public deals together. And so when my buddy Noah put out that he was starting a crypto launch, I was like, okay, great, perfect opportunity. I've been learning this stuff, and I've also been doing contracts recently that I think could lend nicely to this. And so I got involved with them, and the project went really well. I think the project would have gone really well with or without our involvement, obviously, because they're a very smart group of guys, but we played a role in it. And that led to the fact that we were able to use it as a case study. It was the first case study in crypto, and it was a great one to start with. And we already knew how to build a funnel. We already knew how to market. We knew how to do client acquisition. So great. Now I got a case study. I got the business. Boom, let's go. Client acquisition time. And we
Yeah.
would run TikTok videos, and all the client acquisition for the crypto business was done on TikTok. Like literally, I don't know what the number is, and I wouldn't feel comfortable talking about it, but a lot of money was generated from that, from just running TikTok organic. We had a buddy that previously that started posting TikTok organic, and then when the crypto stuff was hitting, everybody was making projects because they thought they could make millions of dollars. And it was a super easy way for us to blow up on social. Is like we posted TikTok of like Discord after we get involved or whatever, and the Discord's at like 20K. Like when you get 20K followers in 48 hours in Discord, and then people would just, we'd have like full calendars off of TikTok organic. It was crazy.
Yeah. Are we heading into another bull market?
I think it'll be a while. Like I have buddies that still do marketing of crypto. Just because I met so many people during that period of time. And it will still occasionally do the work. And as you know, we made that crypto coin a while ago just for fun over 24 hours. We just put something out. And we'll still do that stuff. We still get involved. It's still on my radar. But I think that probably for about a year and a half, 2 years, we're not going to see the same pandemonium that we saw, you know? But at the same time, we're pretty much out of this recession. Like a year and a half into it, you know, where it's starting to see signs that it's easing up across the world. So I think
Yeah.
maybe we'll be working on shorter timelines than usual.
Yeah. I didn't participate in the recession. I don't know about you.
No, there's no such thing as a recession. There's no such thing as a recession.
You
There's just a
brought
new
up
opportunity. There's just a new opportunity to provide value.
exactly. It's all about frame, bro. You brought up
Exactly.
the 6-figure ad again, so I kind of wanted to like ask you about it. Why do you think the ad that you guys were running was giving you the results that you were getting? Like, what was it about the ad?
Oh, damn, dude. You'd have to pay for my course to find that. No, I'm kidding. It would, the biggest things are like it had a good hook. It spoke directly to the person that was interested in buying that service. It was like, hey, are you a business owner or an influencer or an artist and you want to gain? Then it had a number and a guaranteed 10,000 followers over the next month. We can help you do that. Go down below, fill in your information, that kind of shit. And just with that, it's like that's the same thing we use to this day. And we knew that we could get them 10,000 followers really easily. And that was like $1,000 ticket. So we were able to just spin that all day. And it was like something that could be done in 2 weeks. So it wasn't a big undertaking.
Yeah, interesting. When did you realize? So now I can't remember if you said it, but now you're more in the capital markets, kind of pivoted with the current venture. When did you realize, hey, crypto, it's been a fun ride, but I think there's more opportunity for us over here?
Um, yeah, I mean, well, we were in the public market stuff before the crypto, like I said, and then following crypto, it was kind of like we got somebody came through the crypto funnel actually and was like, hey, I've got a few public companies, I'd be interested in you getting involved. And I was like, okay, cool. And this, I don't know, must have been almost a year ago now. And we were like, okay, cool, let's get back into it, let's see what he's got. You know, he wanted to try one out, and the first one that we did was a movie, and we ran an influencer campaign, and the video got like 4 million views, and it was a total movie. Everybody was super stoked. So then we got more contracts on the public side, and that was kind of when I was like, okay, cool, this is a good transition area. We were looking for a transition out of crypto anyways because it was dying down. Volume wasn't the same. People were like, during the heat of crypto, somebody would fucking just send you someone would send you $100,000 in ETH like it was nothing during the peak of the bull market. Like they didn't care. Now it was like people were conscious about their money again, right? Like they aren't
Yeah.
just throwing it around. So a lot of the liquidity had dried up in crypto at the time, and so we were like, we need to pivot anyways. That offered us a good opportunity, and again, case study. And we had the case study from prior to crypto as well. We had some case studies for capital markets, so we were well poised for it, and we went out to the market with it, and we did some Reg CFs, regulated crowd funds, and helped some private businesses raise capital. And we were like, okay, great. And, we should focus on the private markets now, because public markets, there's a lot more compliance restrictions, and there's a lot more oversight, which isn't a bad thing. We always operate within compliance, as you work with the organization. That's always top of mind for us. But the private markets, you just deal with accredited investors, and a lot of the skills and capabilities that we've learned over this period of time lent themselves to that, and it was just kind of a logical next step.
Yeah. You mentioned the fact that you've used case studies twice now, and maybe more than twice, to leverage into what was next for you guys. How would you recommend somebody? I mean, case studies, obviously, it's hard to deny, right? It is the best thing that you can get if you want to scale an offer. But if you don't have a case study, and for maybe the people listening, how would you recommend they go about securing the first or second deal so that they can get the case study and scale?
Either you got to work for free, or you have to make a very compelling ad and be a good salesman. Like those are kind of your two options. Either go out and work for free for the first couple of people, or if you're white labeling a service as an agency, great. Use the white labeled company's background, or hire people that have backgrounds in that space. You can use their case studies, or run an ad and be a really, really good salesman that can get people, that can gain people's trust in order to do the service, and be honest with them and tell them, this is one of my first tries at doing whatever it is that you're offering as the service, but I want to do a good job for you.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I would start it. But yeah, the free option is probably going to be 90% of people's way that they get a first case study.
Yeah. You said, or be good at sales. If you had to boil it down into very simple terms, what are some of the character traits of somebody who's good at sales from what you've seen?
I think it's somebody that can listen well and ask thought-provoking questions. If you can listen well, then you don't have to talk a lot of the time. You don't have to sell anybody on anything. You just listen to them. And if you ask thought-provoking questions, it shows you're listening. It shows you're smart. It gives you the credibility that you need in order to have them, so that the sales process doesn't turn into okay, show me how you can do it. Show me this, show me that, for them to build genuine trust with you, you have to talk to them like a genuine person and ask thought-provoking questions. And that's 90% of the sales process, is just listen really well and ask thought-provoking questions. And if you can be really good at those two things, you're pretty good to go. And be personable. But I'm not even a super personable person in real life. I don't know. It's not really
It's just an internet thing.
Yeah, yeah, it's just an internet. I keep to myself, that's why I'm, personable on the internet, because this is my real life, I guess. But when I'm walking out on the street, or I go out, or I'm eating at a restaurant, I'm never gonna turn over to somebody and, hey man, how are you? I'm Alex. It would never happen in a million years.
Yeah. Yeah. Same. I mean, same with me. I'm not the golden retriever type dude. If someone speaks to me, I'm not going to be awkward. Yeah, I can hold a conversation, but I'm not the one going up and talking to people for no reason,
Yeah. But there's guys that are good at that, and that's what their kind of lane is, is being he's always a networker, hustler. You can fucking talk to anybody. That's some people's vibe, and it's a really good vibe.
Yeah. Yeah. As long as you use it right. How many
Totally.
how many people are currently on the Savvy sales team?
That's a good question. 2 in LATAM, 2 in Asia. This is including setters, I guess. 2 in Europe, 6. And then in North America, what are we at? 3 plus a setter, so 4. So that's 10. Asia, LATAM, Europe, North America. Yeah. So 10 people on the sales team, if you include
Yeah.
setters.
If you, I guess, rewind a year, July 25th, 2022, would you have thought you'd have a 10-person sales team for Savvy?
No, I wouldn't have even thought about it. Like, it's last year, I was running the agency by myself again, basically, until Lewis came on again. And I had an army of Discord guys behind me. That was
Yeah.
pretty much it. Like I had employees in Discord that would help me manage Web3 accounts. So, and occasionally if I needed to do work outside of Web3, then I had contractors that I would call on or do some work myself. But sales team, not really. I had one guy. I had Aiden, who's still with the team.
Yeah, for sure. What's been some of the biggest shifts for you going from like individual contributor to now managing and, having daily sales meetings and stuff like that?
Yeah. That's a really good question. I think honestly it's more exciting having more people to oversee. Um, but in terms of like the difference, I don't really notice a huge difference in terms of the level of management other than just multiplying your efforts out across a whole bunch of people. Like it's not, I find it better the bigger the team gets and it's more exciting and there's more at stake and there's more people in play. I guess like learning experience through that period of time. Uh, like things like that just happen, to be honest, Dylan. Like I wish I could like give you like really like, you know, clear cut guidelines on how to scale your sales team from 1 to 10 people. But it's not like that. It's like you have 1 and then you get 2 and you make sure that the lead flow is good. It's a balancing act. That's a big thing that I will say is making sure that you have the lead flow and you have a scalable mechanism for lead flow is the only way that I could possibly scale 1 to 10 salespeople in such a short period of time. And I could have 20 tomorrow if I really wanted to, but it would probably be inefficient with the spend because I haven't slowly ramped up my spend to get to that point.
Yeah. Yeah. The reason I ask is because there's a lot of guys that are probably watching this. I mean, generally speaking, the audience, they're sales reps, like they're salespeople. There's also like owners, managers. And so I think the insight that you have, being able to build something, like being able to build what you've built in the time you've built it is very valuable to all these different parties. So that being said, I wanted to ask you, I think a lot of the sales reps listening are curious from a sales manager's point of view, like when you're looking at new talent, you're hiring, let's say, a new closer. What are some of the things for you that stand out? How can someone, generally speaking, have a good interview? Stuff like that. Like, what are some tips and tricks for these sales reps?
So a lot of guys will interview, do a whole like process onboarding guys. That we don't operate like that really. Like for us and for me specifically, especially is it's loyalty and hard work are the 2 perfect things for any employee in any position. And a lot of sales guys, like if you're showing up just to do the job, I don't want you and I don't need you. And the other guys that have good offers don't need you either. You need to make yourself valuable to the organization by going above and beyond, by proving that you belong there, by outdoing KPIs or outpacing KPIs or, doing additional tasks that aren't even asked of you. Like, because instead of it being like, I can hire as many salespeople as I want, I'm putting together a team. I have so many spots on my team and I'm choosing who those 5, or in this case 10 people are. And I need to make sure that they're a good fit and that they want what's best for the whole team so we can all move forward. And so I think that's kind of what would make people interview well, or how do I get that sales job that I want? Go that extra mile, show them that you care, and do work that's not even asked of you, and you will succeed. And most of all, just sell, like, make the money. Like, everybody's going to like you if you make the money.
Yeah. I mean, especially these are the people you spend the most of your day with. It's like, if all you can do is barely scrape by KPI wise, like there's thousands of other people that can do that, you know? So moral of the story, like if you're not that good, you better be funny or something. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, it's true though. I mean, it's semi-true. Like a big part of, and that's like one of the biggest parts of what makes Savvy Social an attractive place to work is the company culture. We're all boys. We're all, well, not all men. I mean, it's the guys. It's a group of people that is, where we make jokes all day. We have a good time. Things will get serious. You will be told that you need to meet certain KPIs, and there are ramifications for those actions. But at the end of the day, the company fit is super important. And so I think that's another thing that guys should know is, like, if you want to work at a corporation and you don't like the company culture, it might be difficult for you to work long term with that company.
Yeah. Yeah. When you were hiring sales reps, and I'm going to self plug here, a lot of the sales team came from my community. I'm just going to plug it there.
Correct. No, that's facts, though.
How much of a deciding factor, that's not the right word. How much of an influence over your decision did the fact, or hold on, let me back up. A lot of the sales reps came with a direct referral from somebody that you knew, somebody you trusted. I'm not going to say the name, but you and I both know what we're talking about. How much of that plays a role in whether somebody is like seriously considered or not? Because I've seen it not just here, but on a lot of other teams. I'm just curious, in your eyes, what does that look like?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't really hire someone unless they were a direct referral. And when somebody, not mentioning names, started putting forward people that were consistently performing, I was like, great, why the hell would I pull from anywhere else? The company fit with everybody is good, which means that the other community that they came from probably has a similar company feel. Great, check. The people that he's brought on have consistently worked hard, check. And they've been able to figure stuff out without me spoon feeding them answers, check. So it just becomes a no-brainer because it's so much easier for me to go to one place, pull as many reps as I want from that place, then have to shop around. And I already know that they're good, or else the person that was middlemaning it to me, like, you wouldn't bring me somebody that was no good, right? Like, I know that for a fact. So, and you always have someone you can ask questions about the person or whatever. So yeah, for sure, it's a big factor.
Yeah, because otherwise, I mean, the options for yourself and other business owners is like, I mean, you have social media following, so you can leverage that. Sure, I'll post story posts and get 100 responses. It's like, are you really going to talk to 100 people? No, not really. That's just like too much. So,
and hiring sales reps is really difficult on, like, Upwork or other places like that, because if somebody's good, they're going to be on an offer. So I would rather have someone like you who knows guys that are on offers, but that would come over to another offer if it was a better offer, because they might not be out shopping themselves, but you will be aware of what their situation is, or a community manager will be aware of what their situation is.
Yeah, that's how you got a couple of the most recent guys. I mean, they're still in halfway in with other opportunities, but I think they like what they see over here. So, yeah, man, what's something that we can talk about to provide some value to the audience? What do you think a group of sales reps and managers and owners would like to hear from someone like yourself?
I don't know. I can provide them general knowledge, which is scale until it breaks and then fix it.
Yeah.
Speed kills. Always be moving fast, whether you're a sales rep or own a business or whatever your situation is. Speed kills. It always will.
Yeah.
The faster you can get something done, the better.
Yeah. I thought of this is probably a good thing to talk about because it's relevant to what, is happening within the company. When do you know when it's time to tweak an offer, or more specifically charge more money for an offer? Like, when does that trigger happen in your mind?
To be honest, it's just like the difference between one salesman and 10 salesmen. It's a gut feel, and it's you slowly ramp it up. You get the initial market test, do the initial market test, get a feel for how much interest there is for that product, and get a feel for, okay, I'm spending this amount, I'm getting this amount of return. I would be comfortable with even losing money for a little bit while we test out something,
Yeah.
and then test it out. And I guess it goes back to being constantly adaptable. Like, you have to be able to make that change, and speed. You have to be able to make that change, test it for a week. If it works, continue. If it doesn't, get rid of it, go back to the original, go back to the drawing board, and figure out what you're going to do next week. If you don't like what the outcome was of the previous week or the week before, you have to be constantly adapting what you're doing in order to best serve yourself.
Yeah. I would think, I mean, being a sales rep yourself and now an owner of the business, I'm curious, uh, how do you deal with the fluctuations, like the highs and the lows? Because they're, as a sales rep, they're not very easy, but as an owner, when you have however many people you have relying on you, and, money to come in, and, salaries and all that, how do you deal with the ups and downs?
It gets to the point where you have no other option. Like, is really the facts. Like, I don't know. Tate said that the measure of a man is how well he can deal with stress, and I think that's true too. It's not going to be easy. The more that your agency grows or your business grows, the more the problems are going to be. You need to be able to handle those problems, handle those ups and downs. And I think a big part of that too is handling the ups and letting them not phase you in the same way that you don't let downs phase you. Like, if you have a big win and you go and blow a bag, you're going to regret that later, and you're going to feel satiated by the fact that you did that. If you become immune to wins or losses or anything, and you just become the guy that will continue to do what he's going to do, then you will continue to succeed if you're on the right path, and you won't become satiated with success. You'll always be wanting more and more success. And so that's what I think just remaining level headed is probably the best way to deal with ups and downs, because they will always come, whether you're a sales rep, whether you own the business, whether you're a salaried employee. There will be ups and downs in your job and in your career and your day to day. So the best way to deal with that is remain constant.
Yeah. And I'm curious, from the perspective of even myself, something I've thought about. A lot of the stuff that I'm up to, I kind of do it by myself. But you, with Savvy Social, you've got a co-founder, Lewis, cool dude. What are some of the qualities of Lewis that you think make him like a badass co-founder? Like, what are some things that if you were to go and start something new that you would look for out of your next co-founder?
Works hard, intrinsically motivated. Those are probably the biggest two. Want similar things out of life. That's a big third. You don't want to. I've done it in the past. My old business partner at Savvy didn't want the same things I wanted from life, and so if you don't want the same things, how the hell are you going to get to the same place? You're not. So you need that vision to be aligned, and the long term desire that you want to be aligned, and a vision of the company that's pretty aligned, and also loyalty to the company. Like, are they bought in? Are they just there for the money? Will they have that same feeling and those downs that you'll have, where there's no other option? This thing has to keep going. We have to keep the ship afloat. So, because that'll happen. there'll be times where you have to go into your own, into the Savvy account, and maybe you're red for a month. Those days will come. They won't feel good, but you should make sure that you're with somebody that wants to be prepared for that, because they want what's best for the company, and B, is okay to eat that on the shoulder for the short period that it has to exist.
Yeah.
A ride
So
or
you
die,
said,
if you will.
yeah. What are your plans with Savvy? Like, where are you trying to take it within the next 6 months, a year?
Yeah, I think we want to start putting our own deals together, like um, taking businesses public, or finding assets, acquiring them, doing mergers and acquisitions of businesses in order to, buy and sell businesses. Um, and, that's, I would say, the next year or two, 5, 10 years, build this into a really large firm, and have an investment banking arm, have a mergers and acquisition arm, um, have a real estate investment arm and development arm. Like, just turn it into a powerhouse is the goal, but we got to get through those first kind of few steps there, and use the knowledge that we have and the methods that we have to reach out to people in order to facilitate our own kind of funding or transactions for our own businesses, rather than just for other people. But boy, is it good practice doing it this way as well, and we're getting paid to do it, so it couldn't be much better than that for the first few steps into that long-term vision.
Yeah. Now, what are some Alex goals? Let's say like 3, 5, 10 years.
No, man. I'd love to run for Prime Minister of Canada before 40, to be honest. I want to run up a pretty big bag and then do politics for a while continuing to run up a bag. It's like a long term goal. It's a stretch goal, if you will. But yeah,
Yeah.
build a really good business that sustains myself, have a family, do the damn thing,
Yeah.
and try and build like $1 billion business, or and facilitate transactions around the world, trade publicly, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I wanna throw in a little potential Easter egg here, I guess you could call it. Are you currently hiring any more salespeople?
We could expand. We could use some expansion in a couple of areas. Yes, if you are in the Asian time zone, or in, uh, more so the Eastern time zone, because we're looking to hire for LATAM, then yeah, we're hiring. And if you have finance experience and you happen to be watching us, we're definitely hiring people to help manage accounts always as well.
Yeah. Sweet, dude. I guess we can wrap it here. Where do you want
Let's do it,
where do you
man.
want to send the people? Where can they find you?
I don't know. I guess go to Instagram, Alexander Zastre. It's a
He's on
business.
Twitter too, but he's not.
I,
He's like low
I
key.
am.
He's a
Yeah, I keep
nobody
it.
on
I keep
Twitter.
it loked on Twitter though. Yeah, I'm like a nobody on Twitter. Go to savvysocial.com and book a discovery call if you want to find me. And read my
There we go.
book coming soon. Whoa, great opportunity to plug the book, dude.
You have a book
I
coming
didn't
soon?
even realize. I do. I do actually. It's called 1,000 Deals. It's based on all of the meetings that we've had with companies so far, and deciphering good deals and bad deals from our eyes in terms of what's most fundable. So
Oh,
check it out. It'll be on
that's sick,
Amazon by the
dude.
time this thing's out, because speed
Next
kills.
week?
Next week, the book will be out by Friday. The book will be out. I started it
Sick.
on Saturday.
Okay, cool. I can't wait to read it, dude. All
I could
right,
I
well,
could
I'll
send it
tag
to you
you.
after this. It's done.
Okay. You're fast, dude. I'll
Easy.
tag you and all your stuff in the description. Um, if you are a business who needs more money for your business, check the link in the description. We might be able to help you out with it. Any last words for the
If you
viewers,
qualify.
man? If you qualify.
No, thank you guys for what. Yeah, if you qualify. No, nothing else. I appreciate your time, Dylan. And yeah, if you guys ever have any questions, hit up Dylan. And Dylan, you should also give Abdullah's information so he can field any responses we get from here. So I'll ask you to put Abdullah's info in the sidebar as well, my conciliary.
Okay, got it. Yeah, if any VAs are listening, we might have something for you. All right, man. Well, appreciate you coming on. We'll wrap it here. This one's going up in
Appreciate
about
it.
6 days, so hopefully they
Perfect.
like it. All right, later.
Hopefully, man. Appreciate it, Dylan.